Yo, welcome guys. This is part two in the MetaTrader tutorial series. Here today I'm going to show you guys how to put 9 different types of orders, how to execute 9 different types of orders in MetaTrader 5, and I'm also going to explain what they are as well as why you would use them and kind of give you guys examples. So the first order on our list, you look on our right, is the market order. A market order is the bread and butter. It's the simplest type of order. You can buy or sell a security at the best possible price at the current market state, right? So once you actually enter in the buy or sell price, the system executes the orders based upon the best possible prices available. So to do that, you hit the new order item element on the toolbar up top. You can also hit F9. You go instant execution. You choose your symbol. These will change depending on what kind of brokerage and and securities you're trading. And then you just set your volume. So how much of the security you want to trade. Volume is also indicative of the lot size. So a volume of 1.0 is a standard lot, which is 100,000 units of currency. And then a tenth of a standard lot is referred to as, I believe, a mini. And that's 10,000 units of currency. And then, yeah, it's a mini. And then 100th is a micro lot, and that's 1,000 units of currency. And then you can also go one step further, and 1/1000th of a standard lot is referred to as a nano, I believe, and that is 100 units of currency. So we're just gonna set all this information will be determined based on your trading strategy, but this is just kind of to show you guys how you actually execute these trades. One thing that I think is important is that on the left you kind of see a running chart of the current seller bidding or buyer bidding price and seller asking price. So you can see how they kind of move in tandem with each other. So when you put in the order, it just executes at the best possible price that you can get it. So I think that's going to be dependent on this red line, but we will see. So you buy, boom, we put an instant buy in at 147.542. We'll go over here. This is, boom, over here. This was our order. What I'm going to do is delete this order. Delete, accept. This is a demo account, so I can get away with deleting stuff. Boom. So this was our market buy order. Next, we're going to go over limit orders. Same kind of way, except it's a pending order. So first, let me just kind of explain what it is. A limit order is an order that is another very common type of order, but here you're setting the price of buying or selling to a specific level. So you're not just taking the best available at a given moment in time. You're actually setting, saying, hey, I only want to execute a sell or buy more of this security once price has hit a certain level. You can also set these with like an expiration date. So like, hey, I want to buy this security at X price level, but I only want to do this within a certain window of time. And so in such a situation, a limit buy order would execute at the order price or somewhere lower, and a sell order would execute at an order price or execute at the order price or higher. So boom, we got that, boom. So here you're gonna want to actually set the price, right? So you set the price level. This can be above or below these lines, and you just place it. And right, so if you have a buy limit, it'll execute at or below the level. If it's a sell limit, it'll execute at or above the level. So you want to be mindful when you're placing this. Usually sell limits, I don't know. I feel like, we'll save that for another video. I was going to kind of go into the philosophy of like, would you do a stop loss take, like how you would set up your stop loss and take profit on a buy or sell limit, but I think that's getting into too much of the weeds. So we're just going to keep things simple and show you guys how exactly to do that. Boom, we place the order. So now what we're going to do is just kind of zoom in here. Do I remember how to do that? No. Awesome. We love to see it. But if we go to the smaller time frame, I bet we can zoom in. Boom. So this was our limit order. This was our first buy order that we executed as a market order. This was our buy limit order over here, and it executed. Did it execute? It was placed. It hasn't executed yet. So 0.01 over, this should also be 0.01 once that actual order executes at the level. Then we have a stop loss order. A stop loss order is another really important type of order where the trader is able to limit their losses by automatically exiting a trade at a specific price, right? So this is basically saving you from incurring higher losses if you're not able to actively monitor the market, right? So let's say you put a trade in and you kind of leave and you set a buy limit or a sell limit, and for whatever reason the market goes exactly opposite to what you thought it was going to do, and so you're operating at a loss and you're just losing. Or if you had a limit, that actually wouldn't be an issue, but let's say you had a market order, you put in a market order and your intention was to hold it because you thought the security was going to increase in price, and you go away and then you come back and the security dipped like 20% by the end of whatever the trading window is that you had set up. You would, to kind of circumvent that, you would put in a stop loss order, and that kind of saves you from incurring those high losses if the price goes against you. So when you put a buy order in, you're expecting price to go up. If you're putting a sell order in, you're expecting price to go down. And if the market moves opposite of that, you can use a stop loss. Common practice to use stop losses to prevent losses, excessive losses in situations where the market goes against what you think. So really simple to do that in MetaTrader. New order, boom. You can do a instant execution or a pending execution. You just play around with so if you're doing a pending order, right, so like a buy limit, there's another thing. You can set a stop loss at the beginning of your order, so like the first order when you buy or sell something, or you can set a stop loss after you've actually pulled the trigger. So let's just say we're going to pull the trigger and we're going to put an automatic stop loss, right? So we're going to buy some more dollars in yen, but we're going to set a stop loss down here. So if the price goes below here, it's just going to sell automatically so we don't lose more money. Boom. And that's indicated by that red line over there. You can look in the trade window of your toolbox, and in the stop loss SL column, it tells you what the stop loss that you put was, and it looks like it just executed just now because the price went below, so it's sold. So we go to history, boom, it was here. boom, boom. So this was what just happened. So this is when we opened the order. This is when we closed the order because price dipped below the stop loss. So it executed and we only lost, you know, 24 cents as opposed to more if price would have continued to go down and we didn't have the stop loss in effect. Then the next, okay, well, looks like I did things out of order. So that was a stop loss market order, right? So it triggers when the market hits a certain level. So let's go back and actually do a regular schmegular stop loss. So we go to, pending order, buy limit, and we just kind of set the stop loss here. So this says, hey, we're buying at the price here or here. If the price goes down below our stop loss, we're going to sell. Boom. All right. And that is this trade right here. And you can see this is the stop loss. Boom. This is the price. Oh, no. We're still in history. Sorry. That's over here. This was the price. This is the stop loss we set. This is the current price. The order was placed. It'll execute if at this given price level, once the active price hits the limit price, and then it will also automatically sell if the stop loss is hit, right? So that's our stop loss order. Then we also have, oh, you got to be kidding me. Okay, so it looks like I kind of got ahead of myself. We just did a stop loss limit order. Cool. That's cool. All right. Oh, okay. No, it's not what we just did. So what we just did was a stop loss, regular stop loss order, and before that we did a stop loss market order. Next, we're doing a stop loss limit order. So what happens is if the stop loss level is reached, it'll trigger a limit order as opposed to a market order. So if you want basically another buffer, so let's say, the stop loss was hit, but I have some foresight, or I know something's going to happen. Maybe some news that I'm anticipating is going to hit in this window. Let's have another limit order placed instead of a market order. You can go into Meta Editor. So let me pull that up over here. Boom. Can you guys see that? I think so. Kind of scroll this down. Boom. So what you can do, since it's not natively available in MetaTrader, is you can go and just kind of create a new script. And you just pop it in here. You can name it. I just say, stop loss limit order. Boom. Parameters. What parameters do we need here? Let's go to here. Trigger price. So trigger. And limit price. Okay. Boom. All right. So actually, I ChatGPT'd this. Copy, edit. Boom. Just pop this in. Void on start, was that also copied? It was. So I don't need that. I don't need that. Do I need the property stuff? Yes, I do. Boom. So I'm just copying this code in. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And this is the code. So we can kind of just run through this really quickly. So we have the symbol. This is the security, basically the symbol that represents the security you're trading. Here it should be JPY USD. There's got to be a way to like have this just pull from whatever chart you have, but I'll think about that later. You have the trigger price, so the price that actually triggers this order. The limit price, so the limit order that's placed upon the trigger price being hit. Then you have the stop loss, so automatically executes a market sell order if the price dips below this level, and then it also has a take profit level, so it executes a market sell order at this price. We have the lot size. Keep it over there. Slippage. Not 100% on this one, so I have to go back. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do another video on just kind of running through this code, but this, we'll just kind of save this script. So then we compile it. One error, one warning, where it says on start, not, maybe I need another one of these. Compile, boom. Attach the script to a chart, boom. So we compiled it, looks good. Then we go back to our MetaTrader window. So let me open that up, and we can go into our scripts, and it pops up right here. We drag it over here, boom, allow, and it should have done something. Maybe we didn't. Okay, so it is running. It's just when I don't think we put a, so the prices that we put are way too small, basically. So I should have changed them to like, 147.565. Looking at it, we set it to like 1 point whatever. So you'd have to adjust these to actually make sense for the security that you're trading. But that was just kind of to show you how you can very easily write a script and have automated stop loss limit orders placed. Moving on, we have the aftermarket order. So you have to manually place this order. So we'll go in. This is an order placed only after another order is executed, right? So one, you can use this for automation, right? If well, actually, you would usually, aftermarket orders are just orders that are placed after the market's closed, right? So foreign exchange, I think, is 24/7 or 24/6, something like that. But typically, most markets are like something like 9:15 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. or like, some explicitly defined window from Monday to Friday. And then there's a period outside the market where you can't place, you can't put in orders. But what you could do is say, hey, I know the market's going to close on Friday. I want to put in an order on Saturday because I'm anticipating that some event is going to influence the markets over that period of time. And so you're able to put in an aftermarket order. So it looks like this stuff is wrong. I'm gonna go back and we'll redo this video, but I wanted to at least put it out and give you guys my first attempt at this. So I appreciate, y'all bearing with me because we're learning. Then we have bracket orders. These are orders that basically have 3 orders bundled into one. You enter in a new position with a target, so a price target, a stop loss, and a bracket order is innately also a limit order. And let's see, is there anything else to add? So for every time you put in a bracket order, 2 other corresponding orders get placed, right? The stop loss and the target. Yeah, so you have the target and you have a stop loss order that are automatically placed once the bracket order is placed, which is a limit order. So basically it's like you put in a limit order, and then as soon as you put that in, a target order and a stop loss order are also put in. And then we have the cover order. This is basically an order where you enter a position along with a stop loss in the same order form, right? So anytime you, like if I did this and I changed the stop loss over here, technically that's a cover order. Finally, we have the based on time duration order. So you could have a good for day order, so an order that stays valid till the end of a current trading session, or a good till day over order where you keep the order active for a few days. And then also you have like immediate or cancel orders. So like you saw over here in the trade window, when if I do that, that executed a cancel order. That executed a cancel order. So I'll go into history, and the order that I just canceled was right there. Boom. I think that's pretty much it for what I wanted to cover today. Sorry that it was kind of all over the place. I think it just exposed that I need to do a little bit more research and know more about the types of orders, and really, learn things a little bit more concretely. But I think the practice of even trying to put out a tutorial has illuminated that a lot more clearly than if I was just kind of thinking to myself, oh yeah, I know how to do these things, and then finding out as a result of something else. So that's it for today's video. Let me know what your thoughts, what your comments were. If you think this kind of format is good, if you guys like it, let me know. Obviously I gotta kind of make sure my accuracy is on point, but at the same time I had a lot of fun kind of putting this together and figuring out what exactly I wanted to cover. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay juicy. Looking forward to streaming twice tomorrow, and also putting out 2 videos tomorrow. First stream is going to be in the morning. Going to be streaming the morning run. Probably will have limited engagement. I'm not going to be able to see the chat. I'm not going to be checking it. Just kind of want to test that. I can stream remotely from my phone, and I've set that up correctly. And 2, I can do that to multiple channels. So I can do that to YouTube. I can do it to Twitch as well as Kick. And then what was the other? There was another. Oh yeah, the other stream was going to be talking to you guys about how to set up programming and kind of start coming up with routines for health, fitness, and that kind of segues into the 2 videos that I'm going to put out. One being, part 2 of the Juice Camp series, the first video, which I already had uploaded on the channel, and then the second will be, I said it earlier today, but I'm blanking, and I don't have my notes in front of me. So it'd be a mystery unless you tuned into the stream earlier today. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Stay juicy.